I wrote this blog post for entrepreneur.com a couple of months ago, and it really resonated with people, and it was 5 ways or 5 reasons why you're not successful with social media. Very excited about sharing this because, again, it's a core issue for a lot of people. It's one of those things that people struggle with. So I thought I'd go over what I view to be 5 top ways that people are struggling, or why they're struggling on social media to get the results that they want. So again, though, I'm highlighting a great way to take something you've already done and turn it into a scope. So 5 reasons. Love the repurposing, right? I mean, I'm all about that. So let me share with you a few stats before we get started, because I think this sets the stage for a lot of what I want to share with you. And I'm not good with stats off the top of my head, so I thought I wrote them down for us. There's approximately 2 billion with a B, people on social media today, with active on social media. There's only 7.2 billion people in the world, and of that 7.2 billion people, 2 billion of them are active on social media. I think that's pretty amazing. And of those, 1.7 billion are mobile users, or meaning that they access or can access the social platforms through their mobile device. Hello, we are here on Periscope, which is what? A mobile app. One of the reasons I think Periscope is so phenomenally popular and why it's drawing such large audiences for people here on Periscope is because it's in people's hands. You know, the titles are showing up on their phones. They're popping in when something intrigues them. It just is I think that's a huge piece of it. So where else can we literally, by opening up our phones or getting on social media, access a third of the world's population? Is that pretty incredible? But with that said, you know, a lot of people think that it is totally free, and you know, social media is truly not free. It's free. It's the only marketing medium that we've ever had at our fingertips as business owners that technically is free. But so when I say free, we're not spending dollars for it, but we are spending our time. And time is a precious commodity. So we pay for the exposure that we generate on social media by the time that we spend. So it's technically not free. That said, I think that we're going to see a lot more people, or a lot more opportunities for paid media on social. We're already seeing it. Facebook, for example, is one of those instances. So I think all of the social platforms are ultimately going to go to some form of pay to play. It just makes sense that they will do so, and we have seen that with Facebook. So my very first tip for you is Facebook. And we kind of have to change our mindset a little bit, guys. So many people get so wrapped up around, you know, Facebook and the fact that they are, you know, charging and making it more difficult for us as small business owners. And yeah, they are. I'm not going to lie to you. They absolutely are. They've been very public about that. You know, they're cutting our reach on our fan pages. It's more and more difficult. But, guys, they have 890 million people logging in each and every day on Facebook. Million. And in fact, just a couple of weeks ago, they actually hit 1 billion logins in a day. So it's too big of a marketplace for us to ignore. They have the best ads platform out there, period. You just can't beat it. And if you know how to do Facebook ads, you're going to get incredible results using Facebook ads. So we have to shift our mindset a little bit to where this may not always be free. And if we can just devote a small budget, literally, guys, it doesn't take a lot of money for Facebook ads to get massive results. You know, we have clients that spend $5 a day, you know, generating certain or trying to meet certain goal sets. So it doesn't have to be a huge expenditure on your part in order to make Facebook ads work for you. So I think we have to shift that mindset. I think it's not always going to be free. Facebook is the first place that we're feeling the pinch because they have the ads platform. They're controlling what we see based on the way people engage with our content. So that's my first tip is, we've got to shift our mindset. We're going to have to pay to play. And Facebook is one of those playgrounds, and it's a big opportunity for us, and too big, I think, for us to just totally ignore it. So the next tip, or why you may ultimately not be doing super duper well with social media, is this one. You are push marketing instead of pull marketing. So what does that mean exactly? So how many people have ever accepted a new friend on Facebook and they immediately pushed their business at you, said, hey, here's my business and you need to go buy from me. We don't do that in a social setting. We don't walk up to somebody and say, hey, I've just met you, but I want you to go over to my website and buy something. And yet we feel like it's okay to do that in a social space, and it's not okay. So, if I walk up to somebody in a social setting and I'm at a networking event, for example, and I say, hey, I'm Kim Garst, and they may ask me, hey, what do you do? And I may say, hey, my name is Kim Garst, I help business owners create more sales using the power of social and digital media. But I don't immediately say, hey, by the way, I've got this new great product. You need to go buy that. And yet I see so many people doing that on social media instead of, trying to create a relationship. So I think a lot of people are doing this, sometimes directly and sometimes indirectly. When I mean indirectly, I mean, they may not even be realizing that they're push marketing. I see this with brands all the time, by the way, guys. Brands assume that, they can get out there based on brand recognition and, just buy from me. And yet that doesn't work. You can't do that on social media. It just does not work. So that's another reason that I think, a lot of people may be struggling with social media. And then, this is a biggie right here. Ooh, biggie. Can I say biggie again? You're not being useful, guys. You're not being value-based. People have lots of choices today, lots of choices. And you have to lead without the expectation of reward. In other words, lead with value, knowing that the reward is going to be a byproduct of the value that you lead with. Get up every day and say, how can I make a difference? How can I help somebody? If you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. And I think it's incredibly important to be useful. If you guys haven't read Utility by Jay Baer, it's a great book on the value of just being useful. So I thought I would share that with you as well. Jay's got a great book on it. And then number 4, you're trying to be everywhere. I did a critique in my social media, social selling inner circle just a little bit ago for people's websites, and the question popped up on, should I have a multitude of businesses, 3 or 4, I forgot how many, and should I have social presences for all of those businesses? And this is it's a broad question, and it depends, but the reality is it's very hard to build one social presence, much less multiple ones for multiple businesses. And then again, the same goes for just being active on multiple social media platforms. It can be really a challenge. There's the learning curve. There's the engagement, the building the communities and the relationships and, content, keep going down the list. It can be difficult, right? It makes you want to pull your hair out sometimes. So you can't be everywhere, guys. You have to pick and choose. You have to decide where your ideal client, you have to find your ideal client. Are they on Facebook? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Instagram? Where are they? Master 1 or 2 social presences, and then move on if it makes sense to do so. And then this is a truly big one, and it was so big, and I see it probably so often that I chose to write a book on it. My book, which is a bestseller, is Will the Real You Please Stand Up, Show Up, Be Authentic, and Prosper in Social Media. This is the biggest issue across the board, in my opinion, on why people either are successful or why they fail on social media. and why people struggle with it. So I'm going to tell you, I struggled with it when I first started on social media. Is you get wrapped up in, well, wow, look at that person, and wow, look at that person, and you forget that it's not about that person or this person or that person. It's all about you. People are going to connect with you. You have to show up and be authentically who you are. You have to authentically represent your business, your brand, your personal brand, whatever it is, in a way that resonates and is relatable to your ideal client, your ideal customer. And you attract what you put out there, guys. So it's important to be authentic. It's probably the biggest piece. It's why I think that Periscope is such an awesome opportunity for us to show up and let people get a sense for who we are, what our passions are, what we care about, how we engage with other people. So, I just think that this is probably the number one reason that so many people ultimately struggle with social media, is because they don't know how to be themselves. And that sounds ridiculous, right? It sounds ridiculous that you don't know how to be yourself, and yet so many people struggle with it. So my biggest piece of advice to you as it relates to being authentic is talk to people on social media like they were standing in front of you. What would you say if somebody was standing right in front of you? Try not to get so wrapped up in, oh my goodness, what do I say? Do I need to be like that person in order to achieve success? No, guys, you just need to be who you are. And that can be such a struggle for some, but I would just like to encourage you guys to really embrace who you are, be okay with that, and go for it. So the five reasons that a lot of people aren't successful, again, and I'll just back up here, is authenticity. Being authentic, being real, being who you are, not being afraid to let that shine out and shine forward. The other one is, trying to do it all, trying to be everywhere. Pick a couple of platforms, guys. Focus there, learn them, dig in, build relationships, and then move on if it makes sense to do so. Be useful. Lead with value without the expectation of reward. The reward will be a byproduct of the usefulness, guys. I promise. I've never seen it not be the case. Now, that reward may not come to you for a while. It may not be immediate, but it's the only way, honestly, to truly build a successful business, in my opinion. And then you don't need to be push marketing. Don't be shouting from the rooftops that you've got the greatest product or service out there. Let your product or service be representative of the value that you present. And then pull people, attract people to you through your content. Don't push yourself on them. And then, guys, we got to change our mindset a little bit. Ultimately, as we go forward, we're going to have to, shift our thought process. It's not always going to be free, and it doesn't take a massive budget. There's never, ever, ever, let me say this again, never, ever, ever been a marketing medium that we didn't have to pay for in some way. And technically, we're still paying for it with our time. But ultimately, I think we will have to pay some. Facebook ads are incredible. You don't have to have a big budget to blow it out of the water on Facebook ads. They've got incredible data. I've been online forever, guys. I've tried almost every marketing method out there to drive traffic and sales, and I've never seen a better targeting system than Facebook has. Thanks, guys. Take care.